And welcome back all the way from Turkey. This is the Predator EPBF European Pool Championships. And next up is a loser qualification match to get through to the single elimination stage between, from Germany, Felix Vogel, and from Hungary, Benz Varga. Now it's a race to 8, alternating the breaks. The discipline is 8 ball. And in the commentary booth for this match is myself, Tim de Ruiter. Would like to welcome everybody watching at Pro Billiard TV. Think we could have a pretty good match on our hands. I'm not too familiar with Benz Varga, but I've definitely seen his name before. And, well, I mean, if I've heard about his name on the European circuit, that means that he has definitely had some experience over the years. So not a newcomer. Just curious to see how well does he play 8 ball, and is he able to stop the German Wunderchild. Well, we don't know about that, but definitely a storming talent. Really ready to take the walls of billiards on this young Felix Vogel, who will be breaking first. In the 10 ball, we had to break from outside the box. Now, with the 8 ball, can break from anywhere, just in the kitchen. Cue ball a bit close to the side, but he has made a ball. And now, at first look, I do prefer the stripes a bit more, as the 2 ball doesn't go to the bottom left. Now, if the 2 ball goes to the bottom right, I'm definitely going the solids. In that case, he could play 5, nudge the 8 up while playing the 2, being on to the 4, and then clear up the top end of the table. Yeah, decided to leave the 4 ball in front of the side there, possibly to go to the 8 ball. I'm just wondering. Or does the 8 now go to the bottom left, and is he gonna try and finish 3-1, 4, 6 in the right center, and the 8 in the bottom left? Just not sure if the 6 ball does go to the center pocket. Yeah, I would say the 8 does go to the bottom left if he has left the 6 ball on to the right center. So it's Vogel opening with a break and run. And down goes the 8. Yeah, Felix Vogel drawing Kasper Matikainen in the opening round of the 8 ball, losing 8-4. Very similar draw actually, had the same opening draw in the 10 ball, I believe. So that's how we found him into this loser qualification match, or at least that's the reason why he's on the one loss side. He's beaten Juho Taitinen after from Finland in the loser round 1. Now let's see, Benz Varga. Square hit, makes the ball on the break. And don't think he has too much. Maybe he's on the 10, but I'm not even sure if he can cut the 4 ball in. Now, I must have been a bit sleepy because I was looking at the 10 ball results rather than the 8 ball results. So let's have a better look at it. Benz Varga lost in the winners qualification 8-7 to Roman Hiebler. And Felix Vogel lost to Gabriel Gindac from Romania. Cyprian Gindac. Yeah, Felix been a bit struggling overall at this European Championship. Yeah, starts off with the combination on the 4. Let's see, definitely some work to do around the 3 and the 2. If you land straight on the 3 ball, sure, the 2 ball is easy to pick up. You still gotta get there. If you leave yourself too much angle, it can start to become a struggle. Yeah, one comment in the chat asking where are the Dutch players in this contest? Well, we definitely do have Dutch players in the field. It's just that overall the results are a bit mixed. I see that Joel Katarikromo lost 8-4 to Simon Kural. Tim Jonkman won 8-0 against Ahmet Emir Konuklu. Both Tim Jonkman and Johan van der Leest in the loser bracket. Osi Chan, Wei Chun Chang, also in the one last side. So yeah, we have to cross our fingers a bit for the Dutch hopes. Now this is the shot that has to be right. Could play this using the long rail just to land on something. No, stunned it straight over. Base had to be right. Think he's still okay. If he cuts the 3 ball in, the cue ball will run up to the 8, so the cut on the 2 will be more and more. Think he should be fine on cutting the 2 ball in. So the 2 and the 3 in the same corner, possibly the 8 in the bottom left corner as well, unless he prefers the side pocket. But on this table, I'm assuming he would play for the corner. Slightly short on the 8, but this to double the lead. After a good break from Varga, but yeah, a bit cruel how he's landed. Cue ball frozen to a ball. And no mistakes yet from Vogel. Now 2-0 lead. And the break. Of course, we do have 3 stream tables at Pro Billiard TV. So make sure to check them out. Of course, after a match like this, you can always move over to the other tables. Or maybe you can watch a couple at the same time. Multi-screen, who knows. I'm trying to have a look at the scores once in a while. Gonasuto 2-1 up against Samuel Santos. Strong 8-ball player as well from Portugal, so it could be a good match on table 1. Yeah, again, look at this spread. If you can break him like this the whole tournament, making balls on the break, well, no to almost no blocking balls, no clusters. Now let's see. He has chosen the solids. Just some work around the 2 and the 3 ball, but the same actually for the stripes, so just the ending maybe a bit easier, and especially the 13 is a bit of a lonely soldier on the side. So can imagine why he's chosen solids. Now he's nudged the 2 ball over, so that means I think the 3 and the 2 ball will go into the side. So that nudge alone enough to play 1, 3, 2, 6, 4 and the 8 in the center. Yeah, so far so good. Just has to land in between the 8 and the 14 to be kind of straight on the 8 into the side. Could also actually play for the 8 in the bottom left corner. Might be better, you know, like we've seen a lot of surprising misses into the side. And especially if you leave yourself a bit too short, now suddenly you have to cut the 8 in the side and things get a bit scrappy. It's very missable at some point. This is a little bit scary actually. Could have stunned it to play the 8 in the bottom left. But nothing stops this young man at this point. 3-0. Perfect display. So far, maybe the best match he's played in this tournament. Seen him struggle quite a bit. He's played 1 set against Kasper Matikainen. That's definitely one he would want to forget. But on the other side, I mean, we've all been young. We've all had sets where we thought, what am I even doing? Can I still hold a cue? You know, but I think that's also part of the experience that he might be lacking, even though he's had great success already in the Euro Tour, for example. So a bit of pressure on Vargas' break. Needs to get this rack on the board before he goes down already to the midway point, halfway point. Now, what do we have on the table? The 3 ball maybe a bit blocked for shape on the 3 ball. The 8 blocking most of it. But the 13 also blocked by the 5 in the top left. The 14 laying in a bit of a scrappy position. So he's going for the solids. Has put himself really straight on this 5 and queuing over the 13 now. And that means that if he taps this in, he will already have to shoot the 6 into the bottom left corner. Oh, trouble is coming already. It's not on the 5. Then surely he can play the 2, run in between the 4 and the 3 ball and have 2 options. Problem is the 13 and the 10 are blocking most of the area where you would want to lay to play the 5. And you do not want to go back and forth. So to save that 5 ball all the way up till the end would not be everybody's, well, favorite thing to do. And yeah, he's missed the 2 ball. Actually, the first ball he's missed and very possibly could be down 4-0. Yeah, as I mentioned, the 14 needs a bit of work. But he does have the 15 in the bottom left. And he could put himself close to the 14 to get to the 8 ball. No, he's actually going that route right now. He doesn't like it to keep the 14 all the way till the end. Oh, that was no inside spin on the cue ball. That means this is a bit of a tricky position. The 13 also doesn't go to the top left. Yeah, I was a bit surprised he went actually 15-14 and then did 2 balls on the top side of the table. Would have liked to probably take 13-10 earlier and then 15-14-8. Now, I don't think he can hold this low left, can he? Maybe to the top left. Low left spin. It's his only shot, but definitely missable. And ideally, well, I was gonna say, if he can get on the 14, like just the ball off the rail, I would like to play the 14. But in this case, you gotta play the 13 to the short side of the 14. You ran out of shape, so you kind of gotta take what the table gives you. Yeah, very firm stun run through. Bit surprised he didn't float the ball in. So Ben's at the table actually to turn things around. Has to punish the young man for his mistake. Oh, a bit straight on this 2-ball. Yeah, that's why he has to play now to the short side of the forehand. This can be so sensitive. Sometimes you leave yourself way too big of a cut, and sometimes you drop a ball too far below to where you have to take on a big cut. So this is definitely not a nice position to play, but sometimes you have to, of course. He's landed great. Ball and hand shape on the 4. I think it's gonna do him well. Of course, he also knows that he's playing against a strong player, a player that has had great results in the past, so the pressure could definitely be on him. And one rack on the board can change that feeling a lot. Yeah, so a 3-1 instead of 4-0. A bit more hope for the Hungarian. On the other side, Felix does have that 2-game lead. And as long as he keeps breaking and running on his own break, which he has done now twice on his own break, there will be no chance technically for Varga to come back in this match. But the best you can do is, push, stay close, put pressure on the young man, and then if or when he makes the opportunity, you gotta be there and you gotta overtake it. He's looking for a square hit on the 1. 6 and the 11 moving towards the side pocket. Oh, quite the overcut again, but I mean, the ball's certainly dropping. Yeah, now, everything depends a bit on the 8. If the 8 ball does not go by the 3 ball in the bottom right, then the solids might be a lot better. Yeah, it's the option now to play a 3-2 combination. Cue ball will slide off the 8 to the left, so possibly on the 5 or the 3 ball over the corner, but he is choosing to play the 7-2. Yet could play 5, indeed another 3-7 and go up to the 1 ball. A bit surprised. He looks like he doesn't like to just soft roll the ball in. He's played that with more pace. I would have loved to have the 3 ball over the corner, maybe to go off the 3 towards the 1, or take the 1 first and have the 3 hanging over the corner. And now has to play a very specific cue ball. 2 rails. You gotta find a window between the 12 and the 13. But he has played it perfect. Almost straight in on the 8, as you can see. And thus completes another breaker run. That's now 3 in a spin. And it looks like we've got a timeout for Ben's Varga. That means we'll have to wait a minute or 5, I think. So make sure to get your refreshments, get a snack. In the meantime, we're going to leave you with Jona Suto and Samuel Santos. Suto now leading 4-1. And I'm going to take a little break as well to get myself a glass of water. And I'll be right back. And we are back live all the way from Turkey at the Miracle Resort and Hotel. And we have Ben Svarga just coming back from his timeout, hoping to stop a bit of momentum on the other side for Felix Vogel, who's got past the halfway mark. 4-1 lead in a race to 8. Bench will be breaking though. Can he close the gap a bit? That's the question. Well, you would almost say he's put the cue ball frozen to the rail. Well, like a ball in hand kind of thing. I mean, if you would try. Yeah, what a play. A little cluster around the 8. I think the 8 might go to the bottom left. The 4 ball being blocked by the 9. I mean, he does have the ball in hand, so makes things a bit easier, but as you can see, the 4 doesn't really go. Could use the 3 ball to open it up, possibly. Yeah, on the other side, the stripes. Not sure about that 10 ball. Yeah, chose to run into it right away. He has opened it. And now, as long as you can get on the 6 ball, you would say everything is connecting the dots. Like, for example, the 3 in the side gives you the 5 in the top left, gives you the 1 ball in the right center. So maybe, can he play 4, 2, 3, 5, 1, 6? You gotta land so perfect though on everything if you leave yourself more angle. Oh, he's missed that 4, and that's, yeah, he didn't expect it either. He kind of took that for granted. You could see it. Like he was trying to take the bus as soon as possible. Stood up in his shot and was already moving forward. And this is just what bands need. That, I mean, scratch on the break surely wasn't the greatest thing after the timeout, but to get back at the table and to make this at least 4-2, he should be stoked. Yeah, a bit of draw on the 11, 12 and the 14 in the top right. And then it's about the 13. And that's what he's looking for right now. It's a bit of a tight shot to play, pretty close to the long rail, and especially if you have to play that with a bit more pace, that's where the 13 gets very uncomfortable. As you can see from this angle, I would not be a big fan of the 13 in the side, so hopefully, or maybe he's possible to cheat the pocket a bit to the left. Can draw the cue ball off the 12, maybe into an edge of the 13, pushing it over the side. I mean, I really fear the worst on this 13, and that wouldn't make for a great match, obviously. Not for the neutral spectator. So it looks like he's gonna cut this 13 in. Yeah, including the inside spin. Yeah, it's just so tough. Gotta hit it so perfect, and he's left it wide in the open. Yeah, the 4 ball a little bit out of the corner, but still blocking the bottom right, so the 2 into the 4 is not really a shot later on. I think he was trying to get on the 6-4 immediately. And then again, it's tricky. You do not want to end the rack with the 6-4 combination. So I definitely like to play the 4. Draw back, maybe the 6. To where if you do not land nicely on the 6, you can take the 2 ball up to the 5. This is fine though, I like this. Straight stun over. I gotta say, his rhythm is slowing down. He's like really making sure not to miss a ball. Which on one occasion would be nice to think about what could go wrong, but you gotta stick with your natural rhythm around the table. Yeah, chose to go to the top side of the 6. And I'm just wondering, why did he not play to the bottom side of the 6? No traffic over the bottom. Yeah, you can see already the excitement in the chair for the Hungarian. This definitely gets the hopes up. Yeah, good hit though. And if the 6 ball blocks the 13, oh, things are not too horrible. I mean, I think the 13 does go. I don't think he's got the full cover. Might be able to play the 13 bank into the bottom right, following the cue ball. If you make it, you're on the 9. If you miss it, you leave a difficult shot. Yeah, just like that. You might... Yeah, he's called the bank. Yeah, that means going by the 6 ball might be tough. Just gotta be careful not to leave an easy bank. Well, it's not easy, but it's definitely one Felix should take on. Yeah, Felix did make a good hit onto the 6, but he's gotten away with it slightly. Yeah, that definitely could have been 4-2. Now 5-1. Things are looking real bad for him, for Ben's Varga. With Felix to break, we've seen now 3 breaker runs on Felix's break. So possible 6-1 in the making. Well, I'm glad he can still smile from his chair, because things are really not looking too great for him. But you gotta give credit to Felix. I mean, of course he's made mistakes, but most of it on his own breaks has been very good. In the meantime, Gonasuto now 6-1 up against Samuel Santos on the other TV table. Yeah, then again, ball into the side. He's got plenty of options on the solids. Not too sure if he has something on the stripes, but you gotta be very happy with the solids on this. Just maybe some little bit of work to do. If you can land in between the 12 and the 9, you can take the 5, go to the 7, take the 6, and go back for the 8 in the side. So 4-1, 2 in the middle, possibly. So just to connect from playing the 3 balls on the top side of the table to the 3 balls on the bottom side of the table, and well, he's ran a bit further. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of taking the 7 ball from this position, because how are you gonna go from the 6 back up table to pick up the 1 or the 2? I'd rather cut this 1 ball in and run towards the 14, and if you land on the 2 ball, great. If you actually bump the 14, you're on the 5 or the 7. Or the 12. No man's land. just don't know what exactly his plan was. He was running out of time, so maybe the shot clock got him. Yeah, so first time for Ben Varga at the table on Felix's break. Just the 9 doesn't go by the 7. It looked like he's gonna play the 11, go right up table. But maybe he could play a little bit of a kiss onto the 9. That's not what he has done. Yeah, now he does have 4 balls in the open, but how is he gonna bring the cue ball there? Well, he's done it right away. Perfect. 10-9 up to the 13. Just gotta make sure to not do something funny on the 15-14, like leave himself too big of an angle. Took no chances on the ball into the side. Yeah, imagine if you draw back and you leave yourself just a slight angle on the 14. Now suddenly you have to run into the 15, which you're trying to avoid as much as you can. Maybe even the 15 on right now. Can he put himself straight enough on the 14? And then you would think he's finally broken Felix once on Felix's break. Maybe a slight bit of a comeback. Next break for Varga will be important if he can break a run. 5-3. And 5-3 down in a race to 8 is not that bad. I mean, usually my alarms are ringing at 4 racks. Like 4 or 5 racks down, that's where you're in big trouble with the alternate break format. But if he can break a run and 2 games difference, that is just to 1 mistake from your opponent. Let's say you're 7-5 down in a race to 8. Well, 1 mistake, you're 7 each. So the difference is not that huge. That's why this break is so important. Well, a bit of a striped cluster on the table. Can go stripes or solids, either way. Runout is available. Now for the solids, the 7 ball, maybe not everybody's favorite. And I would like to get to the 3 ball soon. Like, for example, I don't like to stun this, for example, into the side and get to the 3 ball. So I might have to tap this in, leave himself a small angle on the 2. Play the 2 and the 3 in the top left corner. The other option, 2 and then play the 1, cross straight over to the center of the table for the area where the 3 and the 4 are laying. Yeah, it does look at the clock quite often though. And let's call this extension. Now, just surprised, it looked like he was almost waiting to call his extension. It looked like he had everything already figured out. But has to take on the 1 ball now from this point. Cross straight over to the center. Right there. Now instead of top spin to go straight over, I like to play a little bit of left. Because as you can see on the new cloth, the cue ball always arcs slightly forward. Well, we were not going to be able to see it because he played a little bit of left, obviously. But if he didn't know, then we would have seen it. Yeah, one that he was supposed to make. And you can see the disappointment because he felt like if I can make the run out here, I can make something possible. And if Felix runs out and gets that 4-game lead again, that's where hope starts to fade. Yeah, very tricky shot he's just played. Great pot into the side. Now has the 13 into the center, but is queuing over the 14, so he's not done yet. And then he will have to play a big shot on the 14 to go down table for the 4 stripes. Well, some distance. I feel like Benz might still have another chance at the table. He looks a bit defeated to me in the chair, but Felix still needs a great stroke on this 12, and he's taking a lot of time on this ball. He's not taking his extension. Or maybe he doesn't even have an extension anymore. Yeah, a bit too pacey. Is he still on the 10? Gotta say, from this angle it's close, but can still jack up the cue. Gotta spear it in, stun the cue ball over. No, he tried to go with a quite level cue, a bit of outside spin, and he's now low on the 12, on the 11, excuse me. Things are getting slightly out of hand for Felix. Well, things did not come easy, but he did find himself on the 8 ball. That's the only thing that matters in the end. Yeah, and yet that 8, bit wide too. 6-2 lead for Felix. And Felix breaking. This match now just running longer than an hour. Things have gone real quick if you look at the scoreline. I mean, of course, we can add another hour if Benz Vargas seems to find a way to make a comeback, but then he probably should have closed out the previous rack. That was a major chance he's missed out on. Yeah, then again, he's made a ball on the break. The 5 ball seems to be clustered up, but the 9 ball does go. The 10-12 are clustered up, but the 10 does go. But then yet, the 14 is blocked by the 7. So he definitely would like to take the solids if the 5 ball does go. Maybe it does go to the left center. In that case, the 1 ball connects quite alright to it. Yeah, played a bit of a two-way, trying to block the 3 ball over the corner to block the 15. Of course, if it had dropped, he would have had shape on the 1 ball. But overall, still quite the trap. Just wondering, can Benz maybe play the 12-10 up table, leave the cue ball well frozen on top of the 1 ball to where Felix will always have the awkward cueing. Yeah, nothing aggressive to play, otherwise it would probably go aggressive. Could maybe jump the 15, but I like this. As he left something jumpable though, because he's moved the 6. If the 6 ball had stayed, the jump would have been more difficult, but now... No, I cannot imagine. Maybe we'll have to play another safety on the 1. Cue ball near the bottom short rail, like on the first diamond, or maybe half a diamond. Oh, this is sloppy. You see, this is what I mean. Like, he has taken a lot of time to try and figure something out. Then he looks at the clock and goes, oh no, I forgot about the time. And he gives ball in hand. That is very sloppy, and I don't think I've ever seen him struggle with the shot clock before. He was always quite speedy, so something in his system is telling himself to take more time, or maybe they've been telling him to play slower. Well, not regarding the shot clock, I can tell you. Oh. Well, I think he's still on the cut, but you could already see the disappointment. That didn't really grab any spin at all. Gotta say, the Arcadia Elite Cloth, collaboration by Predator and Simonis, still looks to be playing at a good speed. Doesn't grab the spin too much, but also not too slidey anymore. Of course, we've had already, is it 5-6 days of play. Yeah, simply connecting the dots. We'll have to play this real soft though. Dead weight 13 into the side. Cue ball is on the rail, so won't be able to stop the cue ball. has not done anything with the cue ball. Why did he not play any draw? We'll have to cut this 8 into the side, but very missable. It's best option. This is for 6-3 though. Missing this would be 7-2. No. Yeah, a bit of a punchy stroke. I think there was a bit of inside spin on there. Throwing the cue ball outwards. And now all the options on the planet, you would almost say. I mean, he might be able to play the 3 first. He can cut the 1 ball in. Where does he want to go to? Well, it doesn't really matter so much. Like, he's going straight over. Because he knows that 5 ball is always going to be in the open. He'd rather solve with the 6 ball not going by the 3 ball. Yeah, I think it's safe to say that the 3 breaker runs from Felix on his own break have definitely killed all the momentum for Varga in his chair earlier. And, well, now 7-2. He does have 1 more break, but I fear the worst for the Hungarian. But first, it looks like we will see Felix Vogel take a timeout. And I wonder, you're 7-2 up. Why would you go? But, you know, I'm glad he won't be able to hear me. I will be going for a short little break too. When Felix comes back, we will finish the match off till the end. So stay tuned. I'll be right back. And we are back. Felix Vogel has come back from his timeout, looking to close this match out and make it to the single elimination stage. This is Varga's last chance to make a difference. And well, what can we say? Nothing has been going his way. Did have very few opportunities. And now the opportunity for Felix to add himself to the last 64. Yeah, maybe a stop shot will be straight onto the 4-7. I think the 2-ball does go into the same center as the 4-7. And from this angle we can see the 1-ball as well, so it's center pocket pull on these 5 balls. Of course, if he leaves himself a bit more angle on the 2-ball, he can play the 1 in the bottom left, but does have a big area still to hold it, either the 1 or the 3. I kind of like the 1-ball first. 1-3, 2-8. This should not go wrong. Felix on his way to the last 64, and feel for Benz a little bit. I don't think we've really seen him perform the way that he can play. So our next match for today will be at 6 p.m. local Turkey time, live at Pro Billiard TV. So hopefully we can get to welcome you back in a couple hours. For now, thanks everybody for tuning in. Make sure to like, subscribe. Make sure you put your notifications on so you know when we're live. As you see, Felix Vogel advancing through to the last 64 teams. 8-ball and 9-ball action still to come. A lot more to come all the way from Turkey. Tim de Ruiter signing off for now, but I'll see you soon.